Howdy and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Harris. Thanks for joining us. We featured a number of athletes and coaches on this program that have contributed to their communities in so many ways. But if you want to put a guy in the top 10 of community
program
activists
today, as we pay tribute to a great friend, a great broadcaster, a great human, Glenn Harris. We're sitting here talking like two old friends having a conversation. Let me remind myself I'm doing a TV show and pass along some important information to you, the folks at home. Glenn's last show, his last sports talk, is this Friday, live at 9 p.m. So I know it's going to be special. I have no idea what you have planned, but
I got John Thompson on. Hopefully John will come, but he's always showing up for me. So
and we'll be watching. We'll all be watching.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I really appreciate you doing this. Yeah. So Friday, 9 p.m. live on News Channel 8. Do tune in to watch Glenn's last sports talk. We have a number of people who've been patiently waiting. We had I let Wayne. It was so much fun to talk with our former boss Wayne Lynch. Mark Lima joins us now on the news line, a former member of the team here. Mark, jump right in. I will stop talking so that you can talk with Glenn.
What's up, Leaves?
Hey, Glenn. How are you?
How you doing,
man?
Thanks
for having me. No, this is special. You know, Glenn, it's hard to believe it's been so many years, but you know, the chance to work together, it was my first sports producing job. I came to Washington, D.C., and they paired me with kind of the legend of D.C. sports. And there was certainly no better person to kind of introduce me to everything that was Washington, D.C. sports than Glenn Harris. He knew the people, he knew the places, he knew the schools, he knew the history, and he was this great guy. And so we had a tremendous time. We had a great team, and you know, Glenn was our cleanup hitter. He was our big boy who came through with great interviews and kind of just knew everything and really was a great teammate.
Well said.
Hey, Leames, man, you are my man. I'll tell you that right now. You brought in my producer now, and I tell you right now, you guys, I don't think I've ever had an argument in this building. Ever, in the other building either. And Leames, you were always a good guy. I know you're rolling now down in Florida, man. How old are your kids now?
I have a 14-year-old daughter. So
you know, Mark, what you said a second ago reminded me of something. I was listening to the radio the other day, and your name comes up kind of a little bit out of left field because they're talking. It was the Monday morning quarterback show. They're talking with Doc Walker.
Right.
Ken Beatrice had just passed away, and Andy Cohen said, you know, we got short time left. Please say something about Ken Beatrice. And what does Doc Walker say? The two people who influenced him as a broadcaster were Glenn Harris and Ken Beatrice. And I thought, literally, you cannot be in better company than that. And I thought that was an amazingly gracious and important, impressive thing for him to say.
I brought Doc on the air when he first got on. It was with the Redskins at the time and on radio. And me and him have been going like this ever since. And then Mark Moses.
And if I can jump in real quick, you know, it's so telling of Glenn. So I do a lot of news work now, in addition to all the sports stuff I've done in the past. And I was in Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa, and I was at a meeting for the Brown and Black Forum, which is a political event that's going to be held in January that we're producing. And I met with Congressman Wayne Ford. He was sitting there, and we started talking, and he went to Blue High School, and I said, oh, Glenn Harris, I used to work with Glenn, and that just melted all the ice between us. He was like, Glenn is my guy. This is, you know, in Des Moines, Iowa, with a congressman sitting at a meeting, and, of course, Glenn's name comes up, and suddenly the room changes, and we're all good friends. That's the kind of person and the kind of feeling that you get from being around Glenn.
Mark, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Leames, take care, man.
Okay, take care, guys.
Hey, man, you got my number, so every now and then touch base with me when I get about 75 years old.
I'm going to, Mark, thank you. I'm going to text the crew here and see, technically, if we can conference in the next two callers. We'll certainly talk with, and this is another West Coaster getting up early to join us, our former news anchor, our former, like the dean of the News Channel 8 news anchors, Nathan Roberts is on the line, and right behind him will be Ross McCallum, a former sports director here. Nathan, you there?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Great to hear from you. What do you want to say to the great Glenn Harris?
Well, let me just first of all say both of you guys are two of my favorite people ever to work with, and to hear from our two of my good friends, Mark Lima and Wayne Lynch, before me, was just amazing. What an amazing show this is. And Glenn, what an amazing personality you are in Washington, D.C. You taught me a lot about not just sports, but about being a person who considers D.C. their home, which I did for some 22 years. And we had some exciting and challenging times when we started News Channel 8 under Wayne and back in 1991 and John Hillis. And part of the challenge and excitement was dealing with Glenn, because he was out there for, I don't know, 9 or 10 shows a night doing sports.
That's right.
And by the time he got to the 4th or 5th show, he was getting tired of sports, so he'd start talking to the female anchors that we had. And we had some awfully beautiful women in those days, Mel Hastings and Frederica Whitfield and some others.
That's right.
Glenn would usually make a pass at them sometime during the night on the air, and that was just about the most fun we ever had.
Glenn, Nathan, you know this is on the air, right? We're on television now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just joking.
Wait, you've been retired.
Hey, do we have Ross, too? Do we have Ross McCallum, former sports director, conferenced in?
I'm here.
Hey, Ross, jump in. Well, good to talk to you.
I was planning to be the one to throw you under the bus, but Nate beat me to it. What will Washington, D.C. do without Glenn Harris? I keep thinking about that. It's hard to believe this is going to be at the end of more than just a News Channel 8 era. It stretches back. I've lost track of how far it stretches back well into
47 years? Something like that?
Yeah, about 41.
41,
like
okay.
About 41. Yeah.
Yeah. It was something else. I'll tell you, I still go places, and I run into people when they find out that I'm from the Washington area. Every once in a while, Glenn's name will come up, and sometimes just completely out of the blue, and I'll sit there and say, and I'll then amaze that person by saying, I used to work with that guy. It's just no matter where you go, sometimes D.C., as Mark Lima said, Glenn Harris can be an icebreaker at a critical situation.
I just want to bust in, if I can, Bruce, for a second here, and just say congratulations to Glenn. I mean, this has been a heck of a run for you, and I know you never expected to go on this long, but I don't know why you're quitting, because I'm sure you could still do another 10 years, Glenn. But the thing is, like Wayne said, I'm retired as well, and you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy the heck out of it, and I really, really hope that you have many, many happy years. And I know you won't be completely retired, because people are not going to let you retire in Washington, D.C. You're still going to be a part of the fabric of the community.
And I want to just warn everybody, we have 2 minutes left, and maybe, and this, in some ways, there's a segue here from what Nathan just said. Coming back from health challenges, as you did, to be the Glenn Harris we've always loved and remembered and known, that's huge. And there were times where that was not a guarantee.
Well, the whole thing is I never had a drink, a drug, or smoke in my entire life. So when I got this, and I know a lot of people laugh and say, well, I did. So, but I mean, I was always the ride for somebody to go home with. I hung out with a lot of crazy people, but I always stuck to taking care of myself. So when I had the stroke, I didn't know I was going to have it or anything, and it came, and I ended up doing pretty well. So I got to take my time when I talk now, because sometimes things don't get to me as quickly. But for the most part, everything is okay. Not as bad as it could have been.
Ross, returning to something you said a moment ago, or I guess it was Mark who said oh, Dave Lucas wandering in with the cameo. Where's Melanie when we need her? You're close enough to Glenn's mic. You want to?
This man is a national treasure, and to have been associated with him and all those other folks that we've been talking to is one of the great pleasures of my life, and you'll never be far away in our thoughts.
Thank you.
It's awfully good to have you
I'll
back.
tell you one thing. If we were on the air enough to know each other for a long time, I'll tell you that right now.
Longer than we care to remember.
I'm telling you, seriously.
But there is a very family.
Oh
feel.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, hearing Nathan's voice is really is great. Hearing Wayne, Mark, Ross. Well, these are people we've worked with so long.
Legendary.
Yeah. Hey, that'll do it. We are coming up on out of time, and I don't want us to get caught off mid-sentence. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks to all the people who called in. Glenn Harris, I thank you so much for being you. I mean, you have been as good as they come. It's been great having you here. And
Thank you. I appreciate it. And all the guys that were on the air, just take it easy, man. Everybody take it easy. All of us are now, whatever we are, 60s, 50s.
When you have your health, you
right.
have it all.
That's exactly right.
Thank you, Glenn. Good luck. Friday at 9, Sports Talk. We'll see you tomorrow.